All right, it is week 14 of the NFL season. It's gone by so fast. We're in the nitty-gritty time here, but I'm going through and picking all 14 games on the slate for this week against the spread. Let's not waste any more time and hop right on into it. All right, big one on Thursday night. We got the Dallas Cowboys traveling to the Detroit Lions. Lions laying 2.5 points here at home. Both teams played last Thanksgiving, so it's a full week of rest for these guys, which you'll love to see. Lions without Amon-Ra St. Brown, probably he's going to be a game time decision, but I think it's going to be trending towards next week and not this week. Dallas, however, rolling. They look awesome on defense. Since they added Quinnen Williams, since they added a few guys off the IR, I keep saying they've looked really good, and this offense has been elite. Lions don't have any healthy bodies in the secondary out there. I think this is going to be a grind. I do think the Lions are going to win this game at home, but the Cowboys are just absolute money right now covering spreads. Give me the Cowboys plus 2.5 here on the road. All right, we got the Seattle Seahawks heading to the Atlanta Falcons. Falcons getting 7.5 points here at home. This is a massive number. Kirko Chains and the gang, though, just are kind of struggling. Lost to the Jets last week. That was outdoors. That was in the rain. Seattle going west to east is a little bit scary, but this defense is ferocious. I don't see how the Falcons move the football really at all, and their defense probably not going to stop Seattle. Even if you're a little worried like Atlanta gets some pass rush, Sam Darnold could struggle, they're still going to be able to run the football against them. I don't see how the Falcons can just move the ball. Like, Bijan's awesome. No Drake London probably again. 7.5 is a bit scary going west to east, early window. I'm just going to swallow the hook, though. Give me the Seahawks minus 7.5 in a blowout in Atlanta. All right, the Tennessee Titans traveling to the Cleveland Browns. And this is just a real bad mismatch for the Tennessee Titans on offense. Cam Ward takes 1,000,000 sacks. They don't block anybody. And the Browns defense at home is an elite unit. They get after the quarterback. Maybe my guy's Myles Garrett could break the sack record. Cleveland offense hasn't been good. Like, Shedeur Sanders is whatever, man. He's slightly better than Dylan Gabriel. But that's not really the story. Defense wins this game. 4.5 is a scary big number for the Browns at home. I just think it gets ugly. They browned it up last week against the 49ers. I think they play a little bit cleaner of a game on special teams. Get after Tennessee, force some turnovers, probably score on defense. Could be a great fantasy defense for you this weekend. Give me the Browns minus 4.5 here at home. All right, the Washington Commanders traveling to my Minnesota Vikings. Washington laying 1.5 points here on the road, and Minnesota's defense has done a really good job this year. It's just the offense has been by far the worst in the league at the quarterback position. I mean, we're talking maybe 36th or 37th ranked quarterback play this year. Jaden Daniels is expected to be back for Washington. I think that gives them a little bit boost, but it is kind of scary. It's been weird this year with Daniels at quarterback. I felt like at times the offense has looked a lot better with Mariota. It's just been a smoother operation. Both their wide receivers are back. That helps. Debo, Terry McLaurin. I'm going to take the Commanders here. Rushing quarterback has given this Vikings defense fits. He can extend and make plays that they take away up front. And this offense for Minnesota, you just don't expect you're going to get anything from at this point. Give me Washington minus 1.5 here on the road. All right, we got the New York Jets hosting the Miami Dolphins. And don't look now, the Dolphins have won 4 out of 5. And the Jets are maybe the best team in football when they can throw away a good pick. This is an interesting game. The weather is supposed to be cold in New York, which really hurts our Tua Tagovailoa Dolphins over here. We know Tua is bad. Jets defense isn't really anything special. The run offense for the Jets are kind of the way. Tyrod's look better at quarterback for New York. I think this is going to be a short game. Got to get home for lunch. Both teams are going to run the football, I think, very effectively. I just think the Dolphins are a little bit more trustworthy right now. I'm going to take the Dolphins laying 2.5 points here. Feels like a field goal game. I like that they're under that 3-point number. Expect Devon A-Chain to have a big day, probably carry the load for Miami in a victory in New York. All right, the New Orleans Saints traveling to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Bucks laying 8.5 points here at home. And this is kind of an interesting matchup. Tampa Bay is just so clearly hurt across the board. They're getting a little bit healthier. Bucky Irving was back last week. That helped. Chris Godwin really had his first decent game back since, basically last year with all the injury stuff he's been dealing with. Emeka Buka's kind of hitting that rookie wall. Potentially we get McMillan and Mike Evans back as well for the offense. Defense is whatever. They can sometimes stop people. You can throw on them. Harder to run on them, but there's still some success to be had there. Just a below average defense in Tampa Bay. New Orleans, however, they cannot run the football at all. I do like what I've seen from Tyler Shuck, though. Tyler Shuck's looked pretty decent like half the time there. He looked good last week against Miami, I thought. They have the wide receiver play. They have tight ends out there. 8.5 is just too big of a number here. New Orleans isn't a very good team, but I don't feel like Tampa Bay has that firepower to blow anybody out anymore. Give me the Saints plus 8.5 points here. It's way too big of a number. Still think the Buccaneers take care of business and get the win at home. All right, a battle for first place in the AFC South. The 8-4 Jacksonville Jaguars hosting the 8-4 Indianapolis Colts. Jaguars getting a 1.5 here at home. Kind of scary. Jacksonville is just the least trustworthy team, I think, of any team with more than 7 wins. Trevor Lawrence is flat out bad, man. He has killed this team pretty much all year. The run game's been very inconsistent. The defense has had some bright spots, but we've also seen games where this defense has gotten blown out. Indy, on the other hand, kind of sliding a bit. Daniel Jones is clearly hurt. You know, we talked about the fractured fibula, and he just couldn't move, man. He was stuck in the pocket, no RPOs, no designed runs. This offense is very Jonathan Taylor dependent, and JT's still going to get his. I did like how Dimes threw the ball from the pocket. I thought there were, guys there. There were opportunities. Houston's a great defense out there. Indy hasn't won in Jacksonville since 2014 with Andrew Luck. That's a scary thing, but I ain't ever scared. Give me the Colts minus 1.5 in a bounce back spot. I actually trust this Colts team a hell of a lot more than I trust this Jags team. Give me the Colts on the road. All right, we got the first place matchup for the AFC North now. The 6-6 Baltimore Ravens versus the 6-6 Pittsburgh Steelers. Yes, you heard me correct here. Baltimore laying 5.5 points here at home. This is a big, scary number for me. Pittsburgh looks like they're dead. Aaron Rodgers is 100 years old, looks homeless, looks beat up. He's too old for this shit. And the Steelers defense is just flat out bad, man. You can run the football on them. You can throw the football on them. Baltimore's offense has not been good this year. The running game isn't explosive. The offensive interior isn't very good besides Linderbaum. And Lamar Jackson just hasn't been good. Lamar Jackson's been terrible from the pocket this year. Hamstring injury hurts. He can't run. He just hasn't thrown the football well. Zay Flowers, kind of can't get open. He's clearly a number 2 receiver. Mark Andrews did just get extended, and he's clearly been their best passing weapon. The thing here is Baltimore's defense has been pretty decent the last month and a half or so. Not great against Cincinnati, but they are actually the best unit in this game. 5.5 is kind of big, but a touchdown feels right here. I just think Baltimore does enough. Now, Pittsburgh could play all the hits. Weird fumbles, bounces, sacks, touchdowns in this game is close, and Pittsburgh ends up with a win. I just don't see it. I think both these teams are dead. One of these teams going to win the division, and both coaches probably getting fired. All right, we got the Buffalo Bills hosting the rejuvenated Cincinnati Bengals with our guy Joe Burrow back at quarterback, getting a nice win at Baltimore on Thanksgiving. Different test here, though, going to Buffalo. They do have the extra rest. Buffalo coming off a very physical game against Pittsburgh, at least for them. They ran the ball for 249, ran it all day, and I think that's the biggest thing here. Everyone loves the Bengals offense. This Bengals defense is not any better. They are the worst defense in football, and Buffalo will just pound the rock against them. The Bengals aren't going to see much time of possession. I expect Buffalo to run all 3 running backs and Josh Allen this weekend. Just keep the football away from them. And when the Bills can run the ball, they are a good offensive team. Their weapons aren't great out there. Probably no Kincaid again. That's killing them right now, honestly. Bills defense has its moments. I don't trust them at all, especially against Cincy. I think Cincy's going to score pretty much at will when they get the football. They're just not going to have it enough. One stop from this Bills defense could be enough to win this game. I don't see how Cincy stops Buffalo. Give me the Bills here, minus 5.5 points at home. All right, the Denver Broncos traveling to the Las Vegas Raiders. The Raiders might be the worst team in football. It's definitely the worst vibes in football, I think. Getting 7.5 points here at home. The biggest thing is Denver played a very long and physical game against Washington, went down to the end of overtime, obviously. Denver doesn't really play over 1-score games. Like 7.5 is still technically 1 score, but they love playing close football games. I just think this Raiders team is so bad. Denver's going to be able to do what they want on offense, even though they have the hiccups. They'll get what they want. The Raiders offense is going to really struggle to move the football and score. Give me Denver minus 7.5 here in Vegas. I don't love taking a division home dog like this, but I just think it's such a clear mismatch on the quality of teams. All right, we got the Green Bay Packers hosting the Chicago Bears for first place in the NFC North. These teams played twice in 3 weeks. I believe, coming up here. So huge game for the first salvo between these two. Bears, one of your surprising teams in the NFL. And look, the Bears have not been good this year. They've been flat out, like, just not good. They've just been the most insane lucky team in the world. They actually looked very good against Philly on Black Friday. I think that was the Bears' best win of the season, at least from a performance standpoint. Caleb Williams still not very good at quarterback. He's been way too inconsistent. This running game has been an absolute juggernaut for them on offense. And the defense, you can move the football against them, but they force turnovers. A very opportunistic group there. Green Bay, on the other hand, kind of, similar. Their offense struggles. Jordan Love is just whatever at quarterback. If they can run, they're okay. The weapons, Christian Watson's actually been really good since coming back here. They lost Tucker Kraft. That hurt them. If they can run both backs, they'll have some success. The defense is the key. If you can get after the quarterback, they make life a living hell. They have been a little bit vulnerable to the run in recent weeks, and the secondary is not very good in Green Bay. You can throw on them. So it's going to be a matchup of Caleb making magical plays, I think, out of the pocket, or this Green Bay pass rush suffocating him. 6.5 points just feels way too high for me. Bears play ridiculously close games. Give me the Packers by like a field goal, so the Bears are going to cover that 6.5 here on the road. All right, Arizona Cardinals hosting the LA Rams. Arizona's been a spunky team with Jacoby Brissett at quarterback. This is a horribly coached football team, though. The defense isn't very good anymore. The Jonathan Gannon's terrible. That's a dead man walking. Rams coming off of an upset loss against Carolina, kind of a trap game for them. I think they come back in full force here. It is a division game on the road, which are a little scary, but the Rams are a great football team. The Cardinals are a bad football team. I don't think there's any playing around here. It's an indoor stadium. The weather's fine. That's usually my biggest concern with the Rams. I think they pound the Cardinals this weekend. Get a little mojo back. This is a couple touchdown win, I think, for LA in a comfortable game, which they got to have. They are in a very tight race in the NFC West. So Arizona in big trouble, I think, in the desert this weekend. All right, moving to Sunday Night Football, a big one here. We got the Kansas City Chiefs hosting the Houston Texans. Chiefs laying 3.5 points here at home. Chiefs played on Thanksgiving, so they got the extra rest. This is a must-win game for the Kansas City Chiefs. If they lose this game, the Chiefs are not making the playoffs. Houston can afford to lose this game kind of because of the division, but kind of a must-win for them as well. This is a huge game for both of these teams. The Chiefs they will have no tiebreakers with anybody if they lose this game. So they are out of the playoffs, essentially. Houston, still alive in the division. This defense is a real problem for literally everybody. Feels like Kansas City's lost that spark on offense. Andy Reid just doesn't have it anymore, man. This thing ended a lot sooner than I think we thought it would. They can't run the football. Offensively, Mahomes is still playing really good. The receivers aren't as good as we thought they were, especially vertically down the field. Xavier Worthy's just been bad this year, I thought. Hollywood Brown is useless, and Travis Kelce's fat. Rashee Rice is really his only guy out there. And the Spags defense has been okay, but not as explosive as it's normally been. They just don't get after the quarterbacks as much. They aren't forcing as many turnovers. Houston's offense is a concern. They have moments. CJ Stroud did look better against Indy out there. We'll see. They have had their plenty of struggles this year as well. I just think the Texans are a bitch to play against. No fun whatsoever. I'm going to take the Texans plus 3.5 here. I'm going to go down with the Chiefs winning this game because I will always pick the Chiefs until the Chiefs are not available to pick anymore, it feels like. But Houston covers, Chiefs win in a grimy Sunday Night Football affair. All right, Monday Night Football. We got the LA Chargers hosting the Philadelphia Eagles, and this game is a disaster, man. The vibes for Philly are horrendous. The Chargers are just injured to all hell. Jalen Carter now out for this game. I think we're going to get Justin Herbert. If we get Trey Lance, I'm going to really, really lean to the Eagles here, laying the 2.5 points. I just don't know how Lance moves the football. With the broken hand, I still kind of like the Chargers, man. Offensively, they've looked a little bit better running with Kamani Vidal. I think we might get Amarion Hampton back this week. That could be a big, big add for this Chargers team. They still have some decent weapons out there. The offensive line is a concern, but without Jalen Carter, the Eagles are very, very not good on D. Like, they're just not the same unit. We've seen it multiple times this year. Offensively, things are a train wreck for the Eagles. They can't run. Jalen Hurts is not a good quarterback. He can't throw over the middle of the field. He can't process the defense. It's just bad, man. It's bad. The offensive line isn't as good. It's a train wreck. This feels so much like 2023 in Philadelphia. I'm going to take the Chargers getting the 2.5 points here at home on Monday Night Football. All right, to recap, I got the Cowboys plus 2.5 at the Lions. I think the Lions win that game. Seahawks minus 7.5 at the Falcons. I got the Browns -4.5 against the Titans. I got the Commanders -1.5 at the Vikings. Dolphins -2.5 at the Jets. Saints +8.5 against the Buccaneers. Bucks win that game though. Colts -1.5 at the Jaguars. Ravens -5.5 against the Steelers. Bills -5.5 against the Bengals. Broncos -7.5 at the Raiders. Bears +6.5 at the Packers. Packers win. Rams -8.5 at the Cardinals. Texans +3.5 at the Chiefs, but I'm gonna take the Chiefs. And the LA Chargers +2.5 and the win at home against the Eagles. That's gonna do it for us today. If you haven't already, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. Really helps the channel out a lot. We got daily sports content for you guys. Video shorts and live streams. We'll be recapping the NFL each and every Sunday night for the action. So check out the links down below. Again, like, subscribe, and share, and I'll see y'all tomorrow.